time is build wealth, even if it is bit by bit, year by year. I really, really want women to be a part of what I feel is a revolution in finance right now.
Oh, if you.
Welcome back to the Peloton Halftime Report.
Phil Murphy and Trevor Maddich here in studio. And Trevor, we were sitting in these very seats yesterday. College football playoff rankings come out 1 to 5, no surprises. And then 6 and 7, Michigan over Michigan State. Spartans won the head-to-head.
Let me have a caveat here that I respect the committee, but they have the same record.
Yep.
They played on the field.
Yep.
Michigan State won the game. Michigan is rated ahead. As a player, I hate it that they're looking for ways to plug metrics into an almighty spreadsheet that would erase the result on the field between two teams that otherwise have the same record. Phil, I love the committee. I respect them. But I hate that spreadsheet. I hate it.
But even the spreadsheet, if you look at strength of record, Michigan State's is better. And yeah, oh, by the way, 197 yards, rush yards, and 5 TDs in a 37-33 win. Is it any consolation that if Michigan State and Michigan win out, the Michigan State will represent their division in the Big Ten championship game?
Yes, Michigan State still controls their destiny, probably all the way to the playoff. It will be tough because now their margin of error is erased.
It is part of a big college football Saturday. They all are in truth in November. Michigan and Penn State get things kicked off at noon. Michigan only favored by 1.5 points in that game. That gets going on ABC. You can also stream it live on the ESPN app. And it's followed by Purdue heading to the shoe. Heck of a finish for Ohio State. Purdue, Michigan State, and Michigan. Trevor, speaking of Purdue, I know you were impressed by one player in particular in their win over Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State and then Iowa, two teams that Purdue beat that were ranked in the top 5 at the time Purdue played them. And it's in part because of Aiden O'Connell, the quarterback. He's able to put the ball where you can't get it. There's some receivers that you can't stop anyway. I mean, this is NFL precision. Watch that pylon on the upper right. He'll drop this ball just outside that pylon, right? And so I don't care who you are as a corner. There's no way you're going to stop this kind of a precision throw. Ohio State will take note of that. But then you've got guys. You've got David Bell, who'll be in the NFL next year. This is a busted coverage, Bill. Yep. But the defender still has a chance to push him out of bounds.
And the sideline is the defender, right?
Yeah. Wrong guy gets out of bounds.
Oh, no.
Gets shoved out of bounds, for goodness sake, right? But that's the kind of player David Bell is. So how about if we surround David Bell with some more guys?
Give it a shot.
So yeah, why not? So you got the safety coming on up. We're going to help. Nah, we'll let him go by. But there's still another safety, right? And so they have him surrounded. Limit the damage, right? But watch the corner behind him. Trailing, that's flying through the air with the greatest of ease. Those are the two guys we're supposed to limit. But that corner does stick the landing and keep running. So I'll give him credit for that.
And that's with 7.5 minutes left in the game as well. Purdue getting 20 points in that game. Something tells me it's going to be a little bit more competitive with the format. Boiler Up isn't currently heading to Columbus.
If 11 on 11 won't work for you, which doesn't with Ohio State, 1-on-1 can.
Speaking of number one in action this weekend as well. Trevor thinks this Georgia defense, which has been terrific, may face its biggest test yet of the season in Tennessee. We'll talk about that as the Peloton Halftime Report continues.
Hey, I can tell you're a fan. Lucky for you, nothing keeps you connected like AT&T 5G. 5G, huh? Is that fast? Oh, yeah, it's fast. And is it reliable? Definitely is. What about secure? Oh, yeah, it's secure. Love it. How many of those you got? I don't know. You're very good at whatever this is. You flatter me.
It's not complicated. AT&T 5G is fast, reliable, and secure.
Every business is on a journey, and along the ride, you'll find many challenges. Your Dell Technologies advisor can help you find the right tech solutions, so you can stop at nothing for your customers.
Only be here to warn you about this new beefy black and blue with a 1-2 punch of blue cheese and horseradish aioli. You punch me, Jimmy's guns, I punch back. Don't eat the black and blue.
Not good for blue cheese.
Get them before they're gone at Jimmy John's.
Does your deodorant keep you fresh all day? We put Dove Mint deodorant to the test with Nelson, a volunteer that puts care into everything he does.
It really protects my skin. It's comfortable and lasts a long time.
Dove Mint, 40-hour freshness with triple action moisturizers.
People say fresh flavors, classic dishes, and a new seat at the table.
What's strong?
What's strong with me?
What's strong with me? What's strong with me?
What's strong with me?
With me.
With me!
What's strong with me? What's strong?
What's strong with me?
With me. Today tastes like a new tradition. Like an old favorite. Tastes like all hands on deck. And all eyes on the prize. Today tastes like a piece of the action. And it never tasted this good.
Reflect on the past, celebrate the future. Season's greetings from Audi.
We're done in bad faith. Then I think both elements, I don't think that's necessarily what I'm supposed to do. But I think the court has to make some findings as it relates to the bad faith on the part of the prosecution. And if the court makes a finding that the actions that I had talked about were done in bad faith, then I think both.
It's our responsibility to prepare you for anything. What we know about it personally is that we do not choose the time, but we do choose the response. We form a powerful model towards faculty, staff, and the deep desire to teach, grow, to thrive, to fly, and all taking personally with benefits to fly.
This halftime report is presented by Peloton. Get the original bike, still at the best price ever.
Yes, the college football slate kicks off tomorrow, 7:30.
You are already,
you were on board with the 58-55 win over Wake Forest.
when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, well, I'll leave it at that. So I don't know what you're up to. Why would you think that that made it okay for you without any advance notice to bring this matter before the jury? I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, well, I'll leave it at that. So I don't know what you're up to. Why would you think that that made it okay for you without any advance notice to bring this matter before?
My understanding of
You should have come and asked for reconsideration. You did on the one motion, and in fact, I granted your motion for reconsideration.
my understanding of
You should have come and asked for reconsideration. You did on the one motion, and in fact, I granted your motion for reconsideration.
That was on our motion.
Excuse me. I did. I read it.
We did not move
That
for
was their
reconsideration.
motion.
We have not filed any motions to reconsider in this case.
That was their motion for reconsideration, which I denied. But I said I denied it, or I indicated a bias towards denial is what I did. Held it open with a bias towards denial. Why would you think that that made it okay for you without any advance notice to bring this matter before the jury? I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, I'll leave it at that. Between commenting about something when you haven't got a gun and threatening someone when you do.
You know, it's interesting, Your Honor, because the entire defense theory in this case is Joseph Rosenbaum, who was unarmed.
You tell me what the defense theory of the case is. May I
respond to what you just said, Your Honor? I'd like to respond to what you just said. I apologize, Madam Court Reporter, but I'd like to try and make a record without anyone interrupting me, if that's okay. I believe that there is a central part of this case that Mr. Rosenbaum is making threats that he has no ability to carry out. So, to your point, Your Honor, you're arguing that this August 10th incident, one aspect of why you don't believe it's relevant is the defendant didn't have the gun with him. This case is about someone who didn't have a weapon, and yet the jury is being told because of those threats, that means the defendant has to defend himself. So, with all due respect, Your Honor, mere verbal threats have already been shown to this jury and used as a basis for someone's subsequent actions. I am attempting with the defendant to use his mere verbal threat on August 10th, 15 days prior, that he's going to shoot shoplifters with his AR-15 to impeach the defendant in a murder trial. I would ask the court's forbearance to do that. I apologize, Your Honor. You're right. I probably should have brought this to your attention earlier. I may have misunderstood your ruling because I thought your ruling was if the evidence in this case made that more relevant, you would admit it or at least consider it an admittance. I believe, based on the evidence that we've heard, and more specifically exactly what the defendant said earlier about admitting pointing a gun at someone who was merely jumping or sitting on a car, that the door is open now to this testimony. And I continue to believe that his state of mind, his intent, his belief as to self-defense is the core of this case. That was the basis for my motion. You were strongly inclined against it. I understand that.
There's no way they're going to prosecute that guy. That isn't. There is no way they are going to convict this guy Rittenhouse. I was always under the belief that he shot a black kid. They were calling him a white supremacist. How? He shot a white kid. They're getting destroyed. The prosecution looks terrible. It looks like a rigged case. Incredible. Look at that. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. There you go. There you go. 1, 2, 3. That's a perfect. There you go. All right. Put this right over here. Ooh, that's good. What's up? How you doing, Trev? Oh, my. Oh, hey, are you, Chris? Are you there? Oh, okay. Just checking. Good, dude. How you doing? That's all good. Okay, thank you. Good. Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much, man. There you go. That's how you do it. There you go. There you go. Miami FSU this week. That's right, bitch. That's right. Miami FSU. One of the rivalries that has put more pros into the National Football League than any other rivalry in college football history. I think the Canes are going to get them this week. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, Junior. Thank you very much. Thank you. There you go. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. What a time. What a great time right now in the world of sports. It's not so much what's going on the field. It's now become water cooler talk Monday through Saturday now when it comes to pro football or whatever. There's so many things that have collided with the sports world nowadays, with the politics of sports and so many of these crazy storylines. Every single sport, actually, even in the political arena, when you have a villain, it's at its all-time high. Let me give you the example of Donald Trump. This guy's the ultimate political villain. Even people in his own party had an ass with the guy. But what was he? Network executives saw Donald Trump as the golden goose. He was the golden goose. Networks were making millions of dollars off this guy. Who cares what he said? All they knew is that he was polarizing. You see, you got to remember something about network executives, radio executives, TV executives, all types of platform executives now. You think they really care what the politics is? Or do you think they really care what gets clicks, views, Nielsen ratings, Arbitron ratings, whatever? They don't look at whether or not it damages the country or whether or not it's good for the country. They care about their own self-interest. See, most Americans, in America that I grew up in, when you went to a news station or you went to a network or you went to the radio, you pretty much gave them the benefit of the doubt that they were giving you information that was truthful. It's not the case any longer. Because truth doesn't get you what I just said, clicks, views, Arbitron ratings, and Nielsen ratings. It doesn't. Fabricating the truth, stretching the truth into a narrative that makes you money is what's essential today. We have that now in the sports world. As I said to you, Donald Trump was oh my God, he was the greatest thing for both sides. Oh my God, the media, man. You know what? I got to tell you real quick as I get to the point here. I'll never forget, I was doing radio in San Diego at the time. The news talk station prior to Donald Trump was called Kogo or something. And it was like an 04, which is like awful in the ratings world. Awful. Barely got any numbers. Donald Trump got put into the White House. That became a top 3 station. Almost overnight, instantaneously. Everyone's like, what the hell happened? They got the same talent. There's a polarizing figure in the world, and in our world. That was Donald Trump. Let me tell you what's happened this week. And the NFL is such a star at manipulating the water cooler talk. Aaron Rodgers is now the NFL's version of the villain. He's the villain, the unvaccinated one. You know what's funny about this? Let me make you a comparison to something here. So Dalvin Cook, running back for the Minnesota Vikings, allegedly beat the hell out of his girlfriend. She posted pictures of her ass getting kicked by this player, allegedly. Okay? But you don't hear anybody today in any way saying that guy should be thrown out of the league. All you hear is idiots like Howard Stern and all the rest of these guys saying he should be thrown out of the league. But you can beat a woman and no one will say anything about throwing him out of the league. Interesting. So being unvaccinated is more of a polarizing topic to you than a player putting his hands on a woman. Really? Wow. The vaccination conversation supersedes right and wrong. I told you this before. There's very few things that I would throw a guy off my team for. One of them is beating the crap out of a girl or a woman. I can't have that in my locker room. I don't want that in my locker room. I do not want that in my locker room. Beating up the elderly. I do not want that in my room. Folks, you got to stand for something. You have to stand for something. Yet you have Adrian Peterson takes a switch to his kid's genitals, beats him until he's bloody. We revere him now as one of the top touchdown rushers in NFL history this past week. Oh, he's back in the league. Oh, yeah. Okay. Joe Mixon got a contract extension in Cincinnati for breaking a woman's jaw when he was in college at Oklahoma. Congratulations to you. That's great. There's numerous examples of this. But Aaron Rodgers is unvaccinated, and people want him thrown out of the league. I told you exactly what the NFL thought of this, and you guys could not see through the weeds. They fined a guy $14,000. You know what that's the equivalent of with his $22.5 million salary? $33.80. That's what they thought of your stupid, dumbass mandates that the NFL has implemented on the players. $33.80. He was basically fined if you take his money and what it means to Americans. $14,000. Let me tell you this. Last week, you know CeeDee Lamb for the Dallas Cowboys? He was fined $20,000 for socks being down. Multiple offender. There's a rule in the league. If your socks are down or your shirt tail's not tucked in, they can fine you $500,000. And if you continue to do it, or you manipulate the uniform, they'll fine you. CeeDee Lamb was fined $20,000 for uniform misconduct. The league fines you that. I was fined that. Socks down, shirt tail not in. They will fine you. Back in the day, though, it wasn't as expensive as it is today. It was $25 for socks and $50 if your shirt tail wasn't tucked in when you were in the middle of a game. Not kidding you. That's the truth. That's true. It's in the contracts. Think about that for a minute. They got how you look on the field, part of your contract, and you could be fined. And players are fined what do you think the referee's doing when he writes down a player's number? They'll turn it into the front office. Guy had his socks down. You'll get you'll get a bill in the mail. You have to pay it. So a guy's socks being down is more important than the true NFL protocols. $14,000. They care more about a player's socks being down than this thing. Isn't it evident? They want to be seen in a good light. They don't give a crap about real life. They just want you to think well of them. What about Dalvin Cook and him allegedly beating this woman? Get back in the league in 3 days or 3 games. Think of that for a minute. You can beat the piss out of a woman and be back in the game in 3 weeks. What job in America could that possibly be? Where if you beat an employee or your woman or someone, where you could get your job back in 3 weeks? Can you name me a place in America? Honestly, man. Any company in the right mind, hostile work environment, what have you. How about this? Because if I had a guy in my workplace and I know that he had beaten his kid or his wife, I would feel threatened or uncomfortable in that work environment. Wouldn't you? I think I would. If I knew a guy and I'm showing up to work and I'm in the radio business and I show up to work and I know a guy that I work with right next to me is beating on his wife, I would have a problem with that. And so would my boss, I hope. Or I'd be looking for a new boss. We've turned Aaron Rodgers into a villain. What you don't realize is this the best thing in the world for the NFL because they don't give a crap about COVID-19. They never did. And they will never give a crap about it. They won't. Their actions don't speak to that. How they go about their business has never spoken to that. Follow the money. Just like they did in the Watergate case, just like they did in Enron or any other case, follow the money and what the true intentions are for a company. The NFL cares about their advertisers and how you perceive them. It's been a real joke for me. It's a joke. $14,000 behind Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry I'm laughing at most of you pathetic human beings out there who actually think that that guy was ever going to be taken off a field. Did you not see Jordan Love? It'd be like taking Clint Eastwood out of Unforgiving and putting him on the field this weekend against Seattle. The NFL loves stars. They're not taking that guy anywhere. He is now must-see television. That's must-see TV. Russell Wilson is coming back. You got a polarized country watching this guy now. You know what they've done this week? You know the P3s. This is what we call P3s in our business. You know who they are? They are the outliers fans of sports. That's how you grow your sport. Everybody knows there's football hardcore guys. Those are called P1 guys. They're always going to be there, no matter if it's good or bad football. They'll watch preseason football. They don't care. But the dude that does this, and you know what? The people that are on this network who may not be sports fans are going to go, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, the guy from the Packers, right? Hey, I'll check that thing out maybe. Not really a football fan, but what's all the hubbub about? Let me check that out. NFL sits back and goes, they're not attracting me or some other people or my guy Chris O. They're not trying to attract. They already got him. They're looking for the casual viewer. What the hell's going on with this guy, Rodgers? He's anti-vax? Well, let me see what this idiot's all about. See, the NFL has no side in this. They just care you watch. Who cares what you're volatile towards the guy or you're not? They don't care. They just care you tune it on. People, they are so today, no matter what it is, they get so upset over things that have no bearing on their life that this is exactly what's happened here. It's the greatest thing ever happened to Aaron Rodgers, actually, and also the league. You got a villain in the sport. All right. Odell Beckham, the other huge story. Where does he go? Guess where? Shocking. I'll tell you next. You keep it on the Dan Sileo Show. Yeah, man, you? What's the matter? You want to do an hour? Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. yesterday caught me, though, today. They had me do another show, and this piece of shit, like, I'm not going to say it out loud here. Yeah. Gotcha. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Man, I love the fall. You know, fall and spring, you know what's really cool about both of those seasons? Man, when spring baseball hits, you know, everyone's in the cactus or grapefruit leagues, and baseball's right around the corner in April. It's so great, isn't it? You know that time of the year, like you do in the fall for football. Leaves turn, you know, gets colder out. This fits, doesn't it? Just those two sports, man. Spring comes baseball, fall football, high school football on Friday nights, college football on Saturdays. So Americana, man. Baseball too. You know, you kind of, as a kid, you set your calendars to that, right? Oh my God, it's April. Baseball's right around the corner. You know, it's spring. That's how I grew up. Fall was coming, okay? I knew high school football, and I was getting ready to play football. So much fun, man. You see Americans getting back to that too. I think it's so rewarding as we're going into the holidays. And the holidays that could be challenging for many, especially with the things that are going on in our country right now. You can't have anything better. And you know what's crazy is people talking about changing Thanksgiving to Indigenous Day and Jesus, man, all this stuff going on. To me, I just know this. This is a great time of the year, and I'm not going to have anybody in any way, shape, or form reshape how I was raised and how I see the fall, the spring, college football, high school football, professional. You're not going to change my values and my views on how I look at the world and how I look at my world. You tune on the news, people try to change your vision of how you were raised and what you see today. I don't need you to go through my vision of how I see America. Don't interpret to me the Bible, or don't interpret to me the Constitution. I'll do that myself, guy. It's almost like people today need a translator. Something seriously wrong with that. Don't translate anything for me. How to raise my kid, how to see the Bible, how to see the Constitution, how I see America, how I view my sports world. got people bitching about people going into the stands and having full houses around the country. You see, because you can't justify that. You can't justify 100,000 fans at Michigan Stadium wearing no mask. You can't, because it doesn't line up. It's not politically conducive to lining up ideologies. You can't explain that, especially when you're talking about Americans with mandates as we start to turn the calendar. Hey, nice job report. That'll go away fast. Americans will be standing up for that, I guarantee you. And probably next November. People are always trying to change how you have your own vision of something. How I was raised in a certain way, and I love how about this? I love the way I was raised. I wouldn't change one thing about it. Did I have the perfect? I wasn't raised with a mother and father. I was raised by my grandparents and my aunt. Would I change it for a second? Absolutely not. In any way, shape, or form. I loved the way I was raised. Loved it. And they allowed me to be a sports fan. Then they allowed me to participate in sports. It's just fantastic. Just love the way we get into this right now. Hey, do me a favor, guys. Please make sure you check out our friends in the Valley, in the Phoenix area, at all the local Hooters there. Brian and Allie, they have set up so many great things. Hey, man, I'm telling you, got to get on over there. They have so many great specials going on. Incredible, man. Incredible. It's Wings Day. Buy 20 wings, get 10 free all day, every Wednesday. Dine in, take out, whatever you want to do. Ice cold beers, $3 Bud Lights, $4 the Secchies. Do me a favor, make sure you tell them your boy Sileo sent you. I will get to Odell Beckham. We'll do it next. I'm sorry? Oh, it's better. It's my feet now. Good. Good. Oh, it's getting better though, Chris. Yeah. Oh no, since that bad time you had, right? Sounds terrible. See, no, it was just like, because I did let's see, I did 6 hours of broadcasting yesterday, and it kind of got me today. And like, I was like, oh, I'm on to me and da. You think I should take a nap? I'm not really a day napper though, guy. You know what I mean? I find that, yeah, I've never really been like a nap guy. I mean, I think you're up, like a Marine or whatever. I don't know. What do you mean? I was just playing with like a softball or something, or like, Funny. Listen here, man. No, what I tell my daughter all the time is I go, your sport, rugby, football was the child of rugby. I mean, they didn't have the forward pass until I think the 40s. And most of the rules were rugby rules. Oh, yeah. You see, it happens, Chris, when the seasons change. Yeah. Oh my God, me too, man. And you know what? It's always like a day before it rains. Every bone in my body kills me. This dude, this Rittenhouse kid's getting off. It'd be injustice. It'd be injustice if he. It would be an injustice if they prosecuted him. It would totally be. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Let me show you something here. I want to show you how certain football conferences in college football are taking the political vehicle of the COVID-19 and systematically destroying their conference right in front of your face. So, of course, the Southeastern Conference, the Big 12, Texas, and all those teams, you know, they're never going to cancel a game or postpone a game. They're not. I don't care what COVID does. You're not stopping football in the state of Texas or in Florida or in the southeastern part of the country. You're not. Not postponing anything like that. California and the Pac-12, all those liberal states, they will. So what they've done is the Cal-USC game this week has been postponed, I think, until someplace down the line in November. Do you know what I would do if I was a 5-star, 4-star kid that was getting recruited in one of those states like Washington State, Oregon, California, Nevada, all these places that have all these Pac-12 schools? I would never go to school there. I would never consider any of those programs. UCLA, Cal, Stanford, UCLA, SC. I would never consider them. Because if I'm a 5-star kid going to Stanford, I don't care about that. If I'm a doctor or a lawyer or a politician, Stanford's for me. But if I'm a football guy, sorry, dude, Stanford and Cal, it's not impressive to me. That's not why I went to college. You know how some people go to Harvard and Yale to be doctors and lawyers? I went to college because I had a skill set like they did that made me a millionaire out of the school once I got drafted into the NFL. The same way those guys, when they left school, like Bill Gates and all the people that have gone on to do great things that were in those Ivy League schools. I had the same success they did when they came out. I was a millionaire. I had a skill set like they did. So Cal and Stanford don't impress me. Now, today it does. Okay, I'm not an You get a scholarship opportunity at Cal and Stanford, that's pretty impressive. Especially with their acceptance rates. But if I'm a football kid at 19, I don't care about that. So you're going to once again Tell a kid that he can't play or they're going to manipulate a schedule, and you're going to go through all these COVID things when the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12 are never even going to come near that ever again on postponing games. I would never go to the Pac-12. No way. Give me Bama. Give me LSU. Give me Texas. Give me Oklahoma. You ain't canceling games or postponing games in those states or cities. It's a joke. But in those liberal universities like you have with USC and Cal and these places, of course you're gonna. Not me. I'm a football guy. I could care less about grades. I hate to tell you it this way, but that's the reality of how a kid thinks when he's a 5-star kid. Grades, I'm going to do enough to get me through so I can get my millions on my way out once I get into the National Football League. I'll make more than any of you. Probably I'll be one of the 1% people when I leave your university where I walk into being a millionaire. And by the way, do you know what my degree is? It folds up in my wallet when I leave. When you give me a $600,000 signing bonus, my degree folds in my wallet. Care about that? Oh, yeah, but getting an education. Okay, great guy. You know what? That's for jock sniffs and people who don't really understand. Right. You're going to talk to a kid about a degree when he just got a $28 million signing bonus and guaranteed money if you're in the first round as a rookie. You know your money's guaranteed today? First rounders have all their money's guaranteed. $30 million. Going to school to get my degree at Stanford. Kiss my ass. $30 million I'm getting. You want me to care about whether or not your school is going to postpone something because of COVID mandates? I'm going to the SEC, dude. They're a better conference anyway. For more exposure. Why do you think? Get this, what's going on now, too. And by the way, you're dismantling the Pac-12 as it stands now. Who would have ever thought this? Kids are leaving USC to go to the Southeastern Conference now. I'll say it again to you. Kids are transferring. This JT Daniels kid, who is one of the highest recruited quarterbacks in the country, he transferred out of Southern Cal because he thought they sucked. And he's now at Georgia. I went like this. Have you ever in your mind or in your lifetime ever heard of a kid going, I don't want to stay at Southern Cal. It's not a good place. What? Dude, when I grew up, if Southern Cal offered you a scholarship, that's like the gold standard. Notre Dame, those places. Kids today look at that as, and you know what they say? Well, they had a really good history, but they're not very good now. And their conference is not dedicated on playing football. They care more about the politics of COVID-19 still. That's how a kid looks at it. I hate to tell you that. So all you liberal colleges now, you think you're doing the right thing. You're taking apart and losing all your recruits. This will be something that you will not recover from for the next decade. Because kids don't care about mandates. And the parents of those kids who made sacrifices sent them to camps, followed them wherever they went to give them the best opportunity to go to the Peyton Manning School of Throwing, to go to Nick Saban's camps, are also vested. You think some parents sitting in Austin, Texas, or sitting in Dallas, Texas, is going to send their kid to a liberal school in the Pac-12 after the commitment that a single mom or a parent and family made to getting a kid the opportunity to be a star player? You'll never recover from this. You knocked on my door, I'd say, I have zero interest in going out there. I live on the East Coast anyway. You know what's funny? I don't think I took a recruiting trip west of the Mississippi. I don't think I did. I don't think I took a recruiting trip west of the Mississippi. Because I think anyways, West Coast football soft anyway. When's the last time they won a national championship? Somebody not named USC. Well, Washington, I guess. When's the last time? Seriously. 1957, UCLA? Okay? You don't get BYU either. They're kind of Utah. Yeah, they're postponed. See, that thing right there is a message and a tea leaf to kids who are like 5-star kids and who are being recruited now. Think about the kids, too, that are coming out of high school right now. Think of this for just a second here. They missed all of last year in football. They're not missing any games. They can't afford it. Man, if I missed football last year, like many kids in this country did, boy, that would have ripped my heart out. I'm surely not going to go to a conference that could be yanked out from me and, have the carpet yanked out from under me like that. No way. No way. Hey, we really want you to come here. I bet you do. The cool thing about when you're a high school kid versus the NFL drafts you. You have to go there. Even if they're a bad organization and they got bad coaches, you got to go there. When you're in high school, you beg kids to go to your school. You knock on their door. You sit in their driveway. You go to their lunchroom. You go see them after school. Back then, you could do all that crap. I had a guy, I told you the story before. The guy's name was Norm Gerber. He was a recruiting coordinator for Syracuse. This guy used to sit in my driveway. Hey, Dan, Syracuse. I'm like, yeah, great. I'm not playing at Syracuse. I kept telling him, dude, I'm not going. Hey, listen, man, take a recruiting. He did get me to take a recruiting trip to Syracuse. Because the guy was so persistent. I said, okay. And I did. I was like, no, I'm still not playing here. I didn't want to play indoors like that. I wanted to play outdoors. I wanted to be at a football program, and I always thought Syracuse, it was a football program. Jim Brown, I get all that. I knew it was. But to me, at that time, it was really basketball. Basketball was really taking off with Jim Boeheim, and I was like, I don't know, man. It was close to my home. I did think about it. I did think about Boston College a little too, but I was like, nah, man, not another Jesuit school. I'm finished with that. But that's the cool thing. What you have here with this, with Cal and USC canceling or postponing, I should say, the game, God knows they may end up canceling it. I would never go there. You're destroying your conference right in front of your eyes. All right. So the news this week also, besides Aaron Rodgers, this kind of goes into Aaron Rodgers a little bit. So follow me here. So Odell Beckham now has cleared waivers and he's made a list of teams. And get this, what's really cool about this is he's got offers on the table and he's narrowed it down. It's just like he's being recruited now to go and play at a place in the NFL. He's got Chiefs, Packers, and Saints as his top 3 choices on where he's going to land. Isn't that funny? The Packers have reached out to him. Odell's very open to going and playing with Aaron Rodgers. You would think that maybe this vaccination case or issue would maybe pause Odell Beckham and maybe have him rethink about going and playing in Green Bay. Instead, Devontae Adams, their star wide receiver, top wide receiver in the NFL, has sent out a tea leaf to him saying, I hope you consider us. I want you to play here. We would love to have you here. And Odell Beckham has returned the comment by saying, hey, if we can work this out, I'd love to play there. I thought COVID-19 and the vaccination issues of Aaron Rodgers made him a viper and nobody wanted to play with him. Gee, why would a guy want to play with somebody who is arrogant and smug like this? Let me hook you up here. So I was watching the show today, And I heard Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp talking about what a bad guy Aaron Rodgers was. Listen, and get me here. And by the way, he's 7-1 as a starter this year. He's won 33 of 40 games. 33 of 40 regular season NFL games. I want you to always put that in the front, not in the rear. Okay? Put that in the front there. You know what I heard these guys saying today? Well, you actually found out who he really is. He's smug. He's arrogant. He's condescending. You know what I said to all that? Who flipping cares? He's won 33 of 40 ball games. What are you talking about, guy? You don't like him? Who cares if you don't like him? See how the media gets their panties in a bind if they don't conform to how the media wants you to act? They try shaping you in a different way. Don't ever let them do it. It's like getting in a relationship with a woman and you change yourself so that, get this, so that you feel that she'll like you more. In the end, she'll hate you more. She'll hate you more because you know why? The only person you end up changing is you. And then you look at yourself after that stupid relationship and you go like this, why did I put myself in that position? Because you know why? We want people to like us. Not everybody does. Not everybody cares. And here's the biggest thing on why Aaron Rodgers is who he is. You know why he's the way he is now? He's got FU money. He don't care what you think. He's got FU talent. You don't think players don't want to play for him? Odell Beckham Jr. is signing up as we speak maybe to want to play with him in Green Bay. Green Bay. You got to fly into Appleton and drive over to Green Bay, just so you know. Ain't that easy of a hike to get in there. They want to play with him because you know why? They know they'll hit all their incentives. They know he gives them a chance on going to a Super Bowl. Nobody cares what the media thinks. If your feelings are hurt, dude, get a dog. The media doesn't like him because he picks and chooses his access too when it comes to who covers him. He's got Pat McAfee, the same way Jordan had, Ahmad Rashad. And Brady's got Jim Gray. It's classic to watch. It really is, man. Mike Tomlin likes the taunting rule. Why? We'll hit on it next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Need a new chair. Maybe that's it too. Ugh. Huh. I get you. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. By the way, don't forget to follow me over on my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show. Mike Tomlin, the Steelers head coach, is one of my favorite people on the planet. You know why? He's a boss that tells you the way it is, and he'll put you on blast no matter who you are. Ben Roethlisberger, TJ Watt, it doesn't matter. You see, Mike Tomlin looks at things like this. You know how he separates his locker room from his stars? It's really a brilliant technique. He doesn't do it. The organization does. How many times do you think organizations fall into this trap? Guy makes more money, treats it differently than the next guy. We do that in society. I think a lot of coaches fall into that too. You don't think the Cowboys treat Dak differently than, say, the 52nd guy on the roster? Of course they do. You know what Mike Tomlin does? He doesn't look at it like that. Mike Tomlin looks at and talks to you the same way he will talk to anyone else. Your paycheck dictates that. Your paycheck dictates that. So when you get your check every Tuesday, he don't care what you make. He doesn't want to know what you make. That's why when players don't play well on his team, he'll call you out in a meeting and say, you suck, you need to play better. And that's just how he is. But you know the greatest thing about that as a player is it may be harsh and many of you can't take that because nobody likes to be spoken to like that. But you know what my philosophy was always? Well, if you're paying me $300,000 a week, I'm going to take that. Wouldn't you? Of course you would. But you're going to melt because of harsh language? Well, you're not somebody I want on my team anyway then. Your paycheck behind the scenes, that's how you're treated different in front of that guy. So Mike doesn't go along the lines of many people when it comes to this taunting rule. He thinks it's good. You know why? He doesn't think you have to show people up. You know how you show people up? Scoreboard, bitch. That's how he does it. Never having a losing record in 15 years of being the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's how Mike Tomlin does it. I don't have to stand on a anthill and scream, look at me. My record speaks for itself, guy. We don't do those things here in Pittsburgh. That's not how we act. And we need to clean the league up a little bit because guess what? People do look at you as inspiration and how you handle yourself in failure and in success. Those are the great coaches right there. Those are the great leaders. Those are the people you want running your company. They tell it to you the way it is. They reward you not by pats on the back, but by putting money in your account every Tuesday. Isn't that the best way to work for someone? Is it now an understanding why the Steelers have only had 3 coaches since 1969? That's how they all operate. Chuck Noll did the same thing. Bill Cowher did the same thing. That's the Steeler way. Everybody gets treated the same, except on payday. You know, when you pat someone on the back and you're telling them they're doing a good job, you know what you reward them with is words and not deeds of actions of showing you that you're rewarding those deeds. I don't need the old college pat on the back. I want you to respect me on my paycheck. You know, money. Tomlin doesn't look at it. He looks at Kevin Colbert, the president of the Steelers, and he goes like this: "That's your job, dude. My job is to kick these guys' asses." And that's why the Steelers are back to being 5-4 now. Opportunity to kind of sneak in there. Those are great leaders, man. And get this, you know exactly where you stand with that dude. And that's spectacular. It's really a good thing, man. I just love how he handles his team and how he handles himself. I hope the guy gets into broadcasting when he's done. He's the best sound guy I have ever seen. He really is. Just clearly one of the best of all time. All right. So much more to hit on, man. Listen, this Rodgers story has so many tentacles to it. Does it injure Aaron Rodgers' legacy? We'll reset. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Gotcha. Yeah. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Oh my God, what a great night. Great night. We appreciate everybody joining us as you do each and every single night. We thank you so much. These polarizing stories in sports today. I mean it, man. It has been maybe one of the best weeks for you to be able to talk all the policies of vaccinations, COVID-19, how's it affecting the sports world, how it's affecting how we see certain people. It is really, I mean, this has been a pretty big deal this week for the NFL. It's been a big deal. But you see, sometimes the NFL, and I talked about this a couple segments ago, the NFL sometimes doesn't really have a good grasp of what's going on in the real world. And follow me here when I say that. They love Twitter and social media, but they don't subscribe to it and how they run their business. As I said, I mentioned this a couple minutes ago. These fines that you have with Aaron Rodgers today, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Rodgers was basically fined $33.80. That's as preposterous as the number seems to certain people out there because of his violation, so to speak, of the mandates that the NFL has put into place. They were never really anything with any substance. CeeDee Lamb was fined $20,000 for having his socks down. That's no lie. That's no lie. That's a true statement. For wardrobe or uniform violations. I'm not kidding. $20,000. The NFL is more concerned about you having your shirt tail tucked in or your socks pulled up than they are truly about COVID. The fines dictate that. How do you justify that when you're going around telling people and you're outing players for vaccinations and not vaccinations? What are you actually trying to prove here? Do you want really the social media world to be kind to you, so you do that? But then when you get caught in the reality, you got caught in the reality lane today, dude. So you didn't take any draft choices away from the Green Bay Packers. They knew he wasn't unvaccinated. They knew he wasn't vaccinated. They still allowed him to go and break all the mandates and so-called stupid mandates that you have for this vaccination. And the Packers even thought it was stupid. It's like watching Gavin Newsom tell you that you have to wear a mask and he's out in a bar or he's out in a restaurant not wearing one. That's what the Packers did. They didn't care if Aaron Rodgers was following protocol. They just cared Aaron Rodgers was happy winning games, which he is, 7-1. He's won 33 of 40 ball games during the regular season. So they cared about. But you know what they had to do? They had to make sure you little thinkers and the people in the back of the room were feeling good about yourselves. See, that's what social media is. And I said this last night to you. Social media talks to the people in the back of the room. Okay, you're not up front. 70% of Americans are not on social media and on Twitter. You know that? That's a fact. Most of the people don't even know what the hell you're talking about. But because the news and the cable news channels take those Twitters and all that, and it is a major part of how they cover stories now. And it's a major part of how the NFL runs their business publicly. Not behind the scenes, they don't run it. Their fines tell you they don't. I just found these fines to be exactly what the league really thinks of the COVID-19 protocols that they have for the players. It's truly how they feel. It's a non-starter for them. Why Why is it a starter for you? But you want the NFL to overreact. They were never going to overreact. This is the same organization, as I've told you many times, that doesn't care about CTE or players' health. If they cared about the players' health and safety, you wouldn't have Thursday games. You wouldn't add an extra game. Now they're even petitioning to try to get an 18th game. It's not player safety. It's not. And you know what's crazy is that the woke media people are kick him out of the league. And you're like, you're not kicking Aaron Rodgers out of the league. It's like taking Tom Cruise out of like one of his movies. Out of Top Gun. You're like, no, that ain't working for me, Mav. That ain't happening. I just found it really interesting to watch how people who are not really understanding what professional sports is all about always follow the dough, dude. Somebody was asking me, does this hurt Aaron Rodgers' legacy? How does it hurt his legacy? Did you ever, does it matter to you how you, now wait a minute, let me back up here. Does it matter to you that Cal Ripken is Cal Ripken? And not just Cal Ripken, the ball player. Does it matter to you that this guy is damn cool in the Baltimore community? He loved playing there. His father managed there. He is Baltimore. When you think of an athlete from the city of Baltimore, do you think of anybody else but Cal Ripken? Maybe if generationally, you might think of Brooks Robinson. You might think of Johnny Unitas. Okay? But in like right now, wouldn't you think it's Cal? Unitas probably, but the team moved and now you got the Ravens in there. That was a Unitas town forever. But then Cal came around. It embodied a hardworking community like Baltimore is. Seashore community, fishing community, right? It's a great community. I love Baltimore. But that's how you see he is that. So maybe you're disappointed there if he would act in a certain way. But when you look at Aaron Rodgers, it's just about winning. See, I never played into, well, this guy's really a good role model. Maybe this is more of the conversation. You think role models are athletes? You think their role models are athletes? What did Barkley say years ago? Athletes are not role models. I happen to agree with that. I've never had an athlete as a role model, ever. My grandpa was my role model. Always was and always will be. Because I'm trying to be a man and a father and a husband, okay? I don't know anything about those TV characters that I see on television like Lawrence Taylor or Randy White or any of those players back in my day. I didn't know who they were. I just gravitated to the person who I wanted to have a character like. So I never looked at athletes as role models. I never did. My grandfather got up, worked in a cement company, was fireman, was a fisherman. This guy worked his ass off, man. Limited education. I admired the man. Still do. Probably the most important piece of memorabilia I own is my grandfather's Stanford Fire Department hat. His helmet reminds me every day on what a man that guy was. My point, though, is with Rodgers, you really think athletes are role models? Man, are you short-sighted? You think SpongeBob's a role model? How can a guy be a role model when you don't know anything about him? Or the only thing you know about him is what the media tells you. And the media are liars. They form people. Don't you see? They form people to have and mold them into a clay doll the way they see fit. How could you trust that? That's why I've never, ever signed into that theory. Athletes are role models. I didn't know anything about the guy. There was something there was something really cool about not knowing the personality of an athlete, like maybe a guy like Mickey Mantle. I didn't know growing up that Mickey Mantle was an alcoholic. I'm not sure I really cared, and I'm sorry maybe that I found out. Isn't that sad? I'm probably actually sorry I found out that Mantle was an alcoholic. Because he grew up, all I heard about this guy in New York, Mickey Mantle. The greatness of Tom Seaver. That's all there was more of a pageantry when you were a kid in my era covering sports because I didn't know all the details about the dark side of athletes. It's true. Okay? And so now we're in this era where, well, Aaron lied, so his legacy's nowhere near to be touched. 20 years from now, if Aaron Rodgers wins another Super Bowl this year, that'll all go away. Winning covers all of that crap. It erases all of that. I don't have any different opinion of Aaron Rodgers last week than I do this week. I know some of you do. But why does that bug you that much? How is that important to you when gas prices are at $5 a gallon now? Really, food is going through the roof, or what's on the shelves. A government that talks down to you. I mean, I got more important things to worry about than whether or not Aaron Rodgers is vaccinated. Oh, I actually get this. I actually had a Fox employee tweet me and DM me and go, so you would really put yourself in jeopardy of your team not winning if you weren't vaccinated? I said I would support my teammate any way he wanted me to support him. If he was a homosexual, if he was a Jew, if he was an atheist, if he was a Catholic, if he was a Republican, if he was a Democrat, if he had a view, I would support him. If he had a stance like Koufax not pitching on Yom Kippur, I would stand by him. No matter what his stance was, I'm his teammate. And if we're all cool with it in the locker room, then who cares what you think? The guy didn't like that response. And I was like, dude, you don't matter. The media doesn't matter in that conversation. They're not getting it. Whether or not we're all vaccinated or not, it's not the media's concern. But they've taken it on as something that they feel they have to tell you. Sports media people. Chris Oates sent the greatest email of all time. I keep bringing that up. Sorry, Chris, but I keep bringing that email up. Chris tells you all the time, dude, you're not doctors. Don't act like doctors. Okay, let's remember who we are here. You have some information you want to share, that's fine. But to sit there and start going back and forth, that's not what we do. It's not what I am. Well, how about this? It's not what I do. That's not something for me. That's not in my lane. Hey, I may play a doctor on the radio, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express. How you doing? I did stay at a Holiday Express, so I'm figuring that probably gives me some latitude there. All right, Justin Fields in Chicago. I got a hit on him, and we're going to take a look at the NFL standings at the bottom of the hour. We'll do all that next. How you doing? Is he cold there? Holy cow. Humidity must be high then. Please, I would love it. Chris, you're phenomenal. And listen, I got an idea. Listen, I'm going to talk code here for you. I am committed on doing what you guys want. We'll put it all together and we'll go the 3. We'll just pick a date when we want to start banging that out. Yep. I do. Because listen, I do have this. I'm talking to John Cracchiola tomorrow. I may have Long Island. Oh, good. Can you tell me in my ear what company it is? Okay. I saw the guy's area code. It is Minnesota. Oh, Michigan. Okay. I do know a company up there. Well, Chris, you and I have been around a little bit.